graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Colon and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And Paul, I apologize. The last episode we did with, well, in all fairness,
You cheated on me.
it was Sketch that contacted me. It wasn't my idea to cheat on you. So if anything,
Don't let me. I'll call it sketch.
You got it. Well, actually, it's on Twitter. The interactions are on Twitter. If you want to check my phone, goddammit. The interactions are on Twitter. Well, no. Welcome to all the new listeners. We've been getting a shit ton of downloads all over the place. No, very seriously, like the last episode, not last episode, well, a couple episodes back, Busted in My Underoos had a couple hundred, 825 downloads. 4 More Years got 723 downloads. Pasquillo Cologne got 236. And so, thank you and welcome to all the new listeners. But the last episode I had done with Sketch because he had just finished watching Captain America Civil War. And he had contacted me. He had said, "Hey, Chris, we gotta record something." So I was like, "All right, And seeing that, like we usually do you and I meet every other week, that maybe as I could do one in the middle. So
Oh, that's what she said.
You're not giving me you're not giving me the sex that I need. So I'm gonna have to go outside the union and find some other person.
Fuck your union. Okay?
Sketch means nothing to me. It was just
fucking lie.
It was just a fling. He wanted to go see it.
He likes to spread the sketch all over.
Oh boy. So have you seen it? No, you haven't seen it, or have you seen it?
I've seen
You've seen bits and pieces. Your opinion, seeing that we spoke about it last week, might as well get your 2 cents.
I mean, first of all, Spider-Man isn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's not as CGI-ish as I thought it would be, so to speak. I would say it looks like I got to see the whole movie, obviously. I think that it looks like it's really good. First of all, at the end of it, you kind of feel like Tony Stark comes out in the right. You also kind of feel like Captain America should just die.
Yeah. Well, what happened is last episode? No, the last episode. Well, no. Should we talk about it? I don't know if we should talk about it, but no. The last episode, I had said the greatest Marvel movie ever. And I don't want to retract that. I think it's definitely the movie. It's definitely the best Avengers movie. Even though it's not an Avengers movie of the 2 Avengers movies. Oh, that threw me off for a second. I definitely think it was better than both the other Avengers movies, even though it wasn't an official Avengers movie. But I really. I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, I totally forgot. I mean, Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 is so good. Especially the fact that it was the first of its kind. I mean, like, Ant-Man is basically Iron Man 1, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm like, I have this weird kind of toss-up where, like, I don't know if it should be, Captain America Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Iron Man 1. I'm a little lost on which one I should consider my favorite. Yeah. So.
Well, I kind of just, I don't want to really give any of this. It's like, the ending of this was just like, okay, so what just happened? Like, oh, well, we're not going to come back together, but you call and I'll come help.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it's all going to come to a head when they do Infinity War, which I think they said officially that it's not going to be called Infinity War. It's going to they're going to give it some name, but it's basically going to be what was going to be Infinity War Part 1, Infinity War Part 2. So have you seen the after credit sequence? Because we spoiled it in the last episode, or I don't know if we spoiled it, but the mid.
No, I didn't listen to it in protest.
Well, the mid-credits scene, and spoilers if you haven't seen it, so you may want to fast forward a couple minutes. The Winter Soldier goes back under ice. They took off his, they took off what was left of his arm or whatever. And then the screen pans over and you see this giant, I'm assuming made out of vibranium, Black Panther, statue or whatever, which totally reminded me of Voltron. The Black Lion from Voltron. And then the post-credit scenes. Now, this is something I didn't realize until the movie came out and I was listening to other podcasts. People who saw the early review didn't get the post-credit sequence with Spider-Man, where Spider-Man, it's like,
oh, nobody got that?
Not the reviews for
okay.
Like not the media press early reviews. So Peter Parker kind of has like this cool web shooter thing or like a computer on his wrist or whatever. I mean, but then it's kind of stupid because then it shoots like this hologram up on the ceiling. And I don't know, is that supposed to be like a bat signal? Is that supposed to be a spider signal? Is it supposed to show you like it's obviously some sort of Stark technology or whatever the case may be? Maybe it's an interface, like maybe like it shows that, like if he needs to communicate with somebody, like, Tony Stark will probably contact him and you'll see his face through the wrist thing. So, I mean, it was cool and I liked it. They couldn't he just like looked at the screen and then like see like Stark tech or he looked at the screen and says, shield or something, saying, give me something, as much as I liked it, I was kind of disappointed. But then again, it shot the logo on the ceiling, which is the logo that we see for the Sony's Homecoming. I guess I'm
kind of confused. Is the Spider-Man suit, is that like the Spider-Man suit or is that like a Tony Stark created?
Well, remember, because when we're watching, when he's looking at like the YouTube footage or whatever, I don't know if once again, this is spoiler stuff. When Tony Stark visits, Peter Parker, there's like YouTube videos, like people like, kid stops bus or something like that.
Right.
And he's wearing, that is the version 1 long johns, a hoodie and street clothes and kind of, the real super duper low budget, which you don't really see. You kind of see in glimpses in the YouTube videos. And then like there's a part where Tony Stark pulls like on a string or something. And obviously like, Peter Parker has it hidden in his ceiling, like so Aunt May can't find it. But Tony Stark's been doing his homework and probably like x-rayed the house or something like that and pulls it through the ceiling or whatever. And you see, it looks like street clothes or whatever. So obviously the suit that we see when we see Spider-Man proper fighting at the airport is the Tony Stark, because and it was explained once again, something I didn't catch. Now we mentioned it about the trailer where he kind of has his eyes that are kind of like the shutters of a camera where they kind of they kind of have like a little mechanical whir, because when he's wearing his street clothes, Tony Stark goes, "You're wearing these goggles? How could you see anything with these goggles?" And Spider-Man explains that his spider senses are so overwhelming that he needs the goggles to concentrate. So he needs the goggles to kind of keep himself focused while he's fighting, while he's doing all his Spider-Man stuff. So the cool looking shutter eyes that are on him now is sort of Stark, the new updated version of, fucking swimming goggles. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that is straight up a Stark product. And, like I mentioned in the last episode, I like the fact that this looks like the 1960s kind of corny looking Spider-Man. So as the movies progress, we can get a better looking, cooler, and I think he looks cool. I think he looks fantastic just now, but, since we have this character as a kid, and obviously the plan is we're going to pump out a new Spider-Man movie every 2-3 years and exploit the hell out of him. By the time we get to whatever that version of the Sony/Marvel Spider-Man 3 or 4, it'll be a more modern looking, cool looking.
You do realize that we can now do like Spider-Man Hulk.
Oh, okay, yeah, we could do.
Because that was popular a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, once Hulk gets back from Planet Hulk,
or wherever he is.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's a lot of people are hoping that now that Hulk is gone, he could all go off and the rumor is he is going to be in Thor.
He's supposed to.
So once he shoots off from Thor, once he shoots out of Asgard, he could show Asgard. Guard your ass. That's what she said. But. Then the whole hope. I mean, and once again, like when we were watching trailers months ago for the Warcraft movie, and they had all those CGI orcs. I mean, like that alone, you could make a Hulk CGI movie. There's no reason, you could have a whole movie, for the lack of a better term, CGI,
right?
And keep it within continuity of the universe, and maybe you throw a couple humans in there just to be like, I came, you could have Asgardians or whatever other characters, maybe someone from Guardians of the Galaxy fantasy or whatever, you can have characters, or at least characters that look like people from these movies in that world and the rest of it would be CGI. You could have a movie where, they did a fucking Coca-Cola commercial. Remember the Super Bowl Coca-Cola Hulk commercial? You can do a whole movie with Hulk, and just have the people around him talking so he could continue being the fucking grunting beast, maybe bark out a couple words throughout the whole movie, but, or maybe have him, Bruce Banner visit him. So yes, you can have, Hulk. I remember I think they did that with the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where, he's looking in a mirror and he sees his reflection as Bruce Banner. So, I mean, there's ways you can get around having, you can have a human, you can have, the hell's the actor's name? The guy that plays Bruce Banner.
I can't think of his name.
Whatever. You can have the actor in the movie while still making it a Hulk-centric movie. And give us the Hulk movie that we all wanted. Finally giving him justice as opposed to those other the two shitty ones. Not the shitty ones.
I mean, the one with Edward Norton was actually pretty good, but
which is technically part of this universe.
I was still kind of pissed about how they never really, let him be like this Hulk. It would have been.
Yeah, it would have been real. I would have loved to have Edward Norton part of this universe. So wow, we kind of jumped right into the nerdy news.
Right.
Let's the first part of the show we usually talk about our personal lives. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it 2 episodes ago, but I'm now fully moved into my new place, in an area that's slightly less ghetto than my old place. But you gotta
I haven't seen it yet because you want to fight.
Oh, you want to come over? Feel free to come over. Well, I mean,
no time.
I was gonna. Well,
there's a reason why we had Skype, because it was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I still technically in my old apartment, I still have a bunch of jackets that I got to bring over because I've just been so fucking lazy. But I just want to just leave a giant fuck you to my old landlords for jacking up my rent for no reason and not really taking care of the stuff they needed to take care of. So I'm at my new place now. And as a matter of fact, last night was my first night actually sleeping. Got a halfway decent sleep, wasn't interrupted by loud noises because, I do have, my old apartment, I had a neighbor upstairs and a neighbor to the side of me, but not on the other side. And so this one, I have nobody. I have neighbors under me. So I try my best not to make too much noise, but, there's squeaky wooden floors and I was trying not to make too much noise because I still got a bunch of boxes in my house. I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Where's the remote? Where's the TV? Where's my clock radio? So as I'm moving into the house, right. And I don't know if I mentioned that the last episode that we did together, but
you have crack.
A woman with no 2 front teeth. First, she decides that she's going to help me move boxes up the stairs.
And she decided to rape you.
And I said, no, thank you. Thank you very much. I got this. I don't want anybody touching my shit. So she lives on the first floor. So I'm putting boxes in front of her door. Not in front of her door, by her door, but just so I'm getting it off the sidewalk so I can close the door and then bring the rest of my boxes upstairs. And then she comes out and she goes, oh, I thought someone was leaving me a Christmas present or something like that. Something to that effect. And then she's touching my boxes, almost looking like she's trying to look in my boxes. Don't touch my shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't invite you outside. I'm sorry if I was making noise that made you think you could come outside and whatever. But it's I hope this doesn't prove to be any kind of problem, and I don't want people in my fucking business. It's one thing to be on the podcast because, this is what I choose to share. You know what I'm saying? I don't want fucking, people sitting outside watching what the fuck I'm doing and stuff like that. And then I had another guy, a guy from across the street. That's when you're in a good neighborhood. I see you unloading the boxes. You moving in? Yeah, I'm moving in. Oh, just letting you know, I got those, I got the Captain America on DVD. I got all the new movies. Do people still buy fucking bootleg DVDs?
Yeah, I don't understand that because I'm sure there's a way to download movies illegally.
But that's to say, all those are, and not that I've ever purchased one. All those bootleg DVDs are basically just camera videos in a theater that someone downloaded off of some site and then they burnt it to a DVD. I'm like, no, thank you. I know how to use the internet. I don't need your bootleg DVDs. But of course, a guy had to make it known to me. Yo, I got those DVDs. If you got them, if you want them, I haven't got that new Captain America John. So I'm at the new place, living amongst the boxes and stuff like that. But it's a bigger apartment for what I was paying. My daughter has her own room. It's a nice little layout and stuff like that. So I'm digging it. It's now here. You're gonna laugh.
Oh God.
Here's the catch. I don't have a shower. I have a tub. I can't shower in my new apartment. Well, I guess technically, I mean, if I went to like Home Depot.
Wait. I'm confused. So how does one rent an apartment but not have a shower for something?
Well, it has a tub. It has a bathtub. It has a.
Is the shower broken or it's just a tub?
It's just a tub. It's the old fashioned like porcelain elongated thing with feet on it.
Oh my god.
and a faucet or whatever. So I'm gonna be taking a lot more baths. Not that I have a choice, but so and like I said, last night was our first night there. So as like before I came here, I took a bath. I'm going to be taking baths from now on. So, and let me tell you, I mean, if you're not in a rush, baths are pretty fucking relaxing. I kind of like chilled out, handled what I needed to handle. You get a wash rag, you get, some sort of like cup or something, so you can pour water on your head. You're good to go. I mean, that's like what they did in the old days. So, other than that, it's okay. It's definitely better than where I was living before. So, I'm cool with that. So, sort of nerdy news, but not really. Because we were talking about, internet connections and stuff like that. You are now subscribed to the PlayStation Vue.
Yes.
VUE. And, so now, because nowadays, everyone's getting Netflix, everyone's getting Hulu. A buddy of mine.
Well, I think everybody has like. Everybody kind of has like Netflix or both, and then they obviously, they still have cable because you got to see channel. But Sling TV, which is another one, that's come out. The reason I didn't go with Sling is because I've seen a lot of bad reviews on it. So I decided to try this one. Both CNET and PC Magazine give it 4 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good. Which is really good. And to be honest with you, like I'm probably gonna go with the service. I'm probably gonna get able to just keep our internet. Number one, the on-demand is wonderful. Actually, this is how easy. You favorite a show, and it just records all those shows.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So let's say
just don't favor like Law and Order, because you'll fill up.
The woman upstairs will do that. That won't be me.
8,000 fucking episodes in one day.
So, like, for example, like, I had to work till, like, 1:30 this past Saturday. So I missed Hunter x Hunter, and I missed Dimension W.
Oh, the Toonami stuff.
Like, fuck. So, and I've been looking for something that I can, because honestly, like, Kelsey can just watch whatever. She'll watch Netflix if she has. That's what she's at. So I was like, all right, well, we got to find something cheap, because we're spending like at least $150 per month, and the service, and I don't know how much it's going to be altogether, but it's $29.99 for the first one. I think it's like it's pretty much all the channels I want: USA, TNT, TS, Cartoon Network, obviously, which is yeah,
you need a Cartoon Network.
HDTV, or Food Network crap, TLC, MTV, CNN, ESPN. Actually, I think all 3 relevant Disney channels: Disney Junior, and Disney XD.
Yeah. So,
and it has its issues. It has its issues.
Yeah, because we were here while we were here before we were recording. You had it on, and in all fairness, you had the PlayStation 3 going with Vue on it. My daughter had her tablet. I'm on my phone. You're on your phone. Your fiance's on her phone. There's literally like 4 or 5 devices on at the time, but it was getting for the live stream for right. what was at the time USA Network Live. Every now and then it would say waiting, and then even your fiance had said that I guess you were watching Family Guy on Vue, and she was watching it upstairs, quote unquote live, and she felt like there was like a 2-minute difference, which I mean that I don't care.
No, I don't care about that.
But that was always been my issue with these these streaming content shows, where it's like, if you're on Netflix, okay, you go and you choose Netflix and you choose your show, you're gonna watch it. You're more invested because you chose that show. No longer are the days of just like passive, like just let something play in the background while I clean the house or whatever.
Right.
While I fap or whatever. There's no passive stuff in the background. So I like the fact that now someone has finally decided to say, okay, let's put some passive content so you you don't have to like, it's obviously you're going to put, if you're going to go on and you're going to put on, Daredevil, or whatever, you're going to sit and watch fucking Daredevil. You're not going to, you're not going to, take care of other chores. So I like that. That was always my deal with Netflix. I feel like I had to be, I have to sit right here and I can't move because I don't want to miss the show, I don't want to have to go back and rewatch it, like I want to put shit on TV. I just want to watch stuff and just let it play as I'm doing whatever else I am around the house. Right. So, a buddy of mine, his name is Big Ray. He has a podcast. He's a guy I grew up with. He does a wrestling show, and they had said that WWE. He had said on his podcast, Big Ray's wrestling show, Big Ray and the wrestling chick. That WWE is cracking down on how many devices. Yeah. If you have a device, like say you're watching WWE Network on your PlayStation 3, and you had shared your password. Let's say you shared your password with me, and then I'm at my house and I'm watching. Right. So like, and I get, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're paying for one service, it wouldn't be fair for you to give the password out to 20 fucking people, and especially on a night like a WrestleMania or something like that. You got all these unauthorized people fucking clogging up WrestleMania, and God heavens forbid you get delays or some shit like that. Which I guess technically, if you're like, okay, like I know, okay, you get home at 8 o'clock, so before 8, I better get the hell off, but during the day I could use it. But, it's
during the nighttime. I mean, like when I've used it late at night, it's been pretty good. The on-demand is really good. Like anybody that's had, in here in Rochester, it's Time Warner cable. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's had that, it's pretty much the same thing as if you were using the on-demand that way. It's really good. It's to the point of where I'm really impressed by it. Mm-hmm. There's not that much lag usually. I would also say that on top of that, it's not just about the lag, but it's also about, like I was saying, the DVR. The DVR is really good. It's very easy to use. You can also like just favorite channels, so that way you just
scan the ones I want. Yeah, right. I ain't watching Home and Garden.
So I mean, it's pretty good. And even though there is a lag, you could always set these shows to be recorded. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Law and Order is a good example. You don't want to really record that, and then you have like 50 episodes. But apparently, it's unlimited DVR. So I guess you can record whatever the hell you want, and you're fine. Mm-hmm. I would just say that if you're looking for something to cut the cord, so to speak, as everybody's saying, mm-hmm. this is probably the best one that you're gonna see. From what I've read, it's pretty much because the service that we have is 30 megabytes per second, mm-hmm. which is I guess the extreme one, but it's the first extreme one, the another one. Mm-hmm. And from what I've read online, it's pretty much the problem is not connection. It's more or less because other people have had this issue. It's PlayStation itself. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I usually, like for example, we were watching CNN for a good portion. I think it may depend on what channel you're watching.
Yeah, and in all fairness, your PlayStation, you have like the old school play.
I have the PlayStation 3.
And I was gonna say, you have the George Foreman grill, the original PlayStation 3. There's not that there's anything wrong with that, but that it looks like a George Foreman grill. You have the big giant. But I mean, there's an aesthetic to that, but.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just telling people, like, it's probably, I would say, like, it's, if you're looking for a cheaper option, this is probably the one you want to go. Mm-hmm. And again, I mean, for Sling, you get a handful, like maybe 10, I don't remember how many it is. And the one package is like 10 channels for like $20. And depending on whatever packages you get next, like it's $5 each. So, I mean, by the time you're spending all those to get those other packages, it's pretty much the same price as $29.99 that's here in Rochester. So, and I think there might be a DVR fee or something, but I mean, as long as it's not outrageous, if it's like $5, fine, I'm good with that. But I just think it's great. I'm probably gonna keep it, go with it. It'll probably save us $40 in the long term thing.
Yeah, so. $40 a month for a year long. That's $480 all year, $500 basically.
Well, you're making me do math, so I'll just.
And well, I mean, it's just I get it. It is between the podcast and work and everything like that. I mean, I wish it's funny. Like, I don't want to say, I don't want to like, I don't watch TV because I like watching TV, saying, right. Especially I swear to God. I mean, obviously other than watching like The Flash, which I guess we'll get into nerdy news because Kevin Smith's episode of The Flash, we'll get to that later next week, second part of the episode. But, The Flash, Gotham, watched Gotham last night, the newest episode of Gotham, which actually, spoiler alert, I mean, it was in the commercials. They brought back Fish Moon. Mooney. They brought back Jada
Yeah, I
Pinkett
heard
Smith
about
character. The last night's episode of Gotham, for a show that's had a lot of ups and downs and more downs than ups, last night's episode was the best fucking episode of Gotham I've seen in a long time. And of course, what is it? Because they're gearing up for the season finale, which is like next week. But
didn't they kill off her character or something?
Well, that's the gist, and they brought her back, and they explain it, but in comic book logic, comic book logic, they bring her character back.
Oh, look, she went into the Lazarus pit.
She could. You're making a joke
point.
That's pretty much kind of it's not the Lazarus pit, but they are bringing people back. They are bringing people back from the dead in the show, so that's how she's there. But I don't want to get into that. But so I mean,
tell me this later.
Yeah, I like watching certain shows. You know, saying for some reason I forced myself. If I wasn't here right now, I'd be forcing myself to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Even though that show sucks fucking balls. I can't believe that Captain America Civil War, to this date right now, I mean, a lot of people agree is like the best Marvel movie. I still kind of have to debate myself between Iron Man 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy, but this incredible fucking movie where the show is supposed to be tied in with the movies, the show had like nothing. They go, the Sokovia Accords, and they mentioned it like in the first 2 minutes of the episode, and then the rest of the episode sucks balls. You know what I'm saying? Like they had so much opportunity to tie it in with the show and even redirect where the show is going, and they totally dropped the ball. But I guess we'll save that for the nerdy part of the show. My point is, there's certain shows I like to watch, and I'm more of like a nighttime guy. I like, I like the nighttime talk shows. The Stephen Colbert, and
Chris, just say you want to jerk it in the night. We're good.
No, well, I'm not watching Jimmy Fallon. That's just out of a matter of principle. I'm not watching Jimmy Fallon, and I can't believe I forgot Seth Meyers after Jimmy Fallon. And so like I'll watch that, and then like because since I don't have cable, I've been watching this Antenna TV. There's a new channel, and it's not new. It's
I think isn't that thing that you can buy at like Rite Aid and stuff, like watch.
Well, it's basically the digital channels that are out there. And Antenna TV, if I understand it correctly, is like it's under Fox. If I understand it correctly.
I don't know.
And what it is, it's all old TV shows.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's the Jeffersons, Three's Company, Mork and Mindy. And then what I like is they actually give old Johnny Carson shows. So it's so weird watching people from fucking, that guy about a week ago I watched, they had an old George Carlin interview, and this is stuff like literally 1981, 82 or whatever. And it's so funny, like when Johnny Carson is doing his monologue, he's talking about stuff in the news and and President Reagan said today, like, wow, it just takes me back. So I've been watching a lot of Antenna TV. I don't watch TV as often as I like, and I don't have the time. But when I do, if I did, I would be using some sort of internet service. I had for a year subscribed to that one called Rabbit. Yeah. And all Rabbit is Rabbit finds all the free TV shows online. Like if you wanted to watch The Flash, you could probably watch the most 2 recent episodes or 3 episodes free on like CW.com. And all Rabbit does, it's say, would you like to see the newest season episode of Flash? Yeah. And then you click on the Rabbit, and all it does is redirect you to the CW site. They don't host any videos. They update their guide to redirect you to the newest episodes. So for $10 a year, that's not that bad, and so. Yeah.
Well, there's, I actually have upstairs also on PS3,
Crackle, yeah.
They just put Robotech on, the old Robotech animated series, and that's all free, so you can play that.
Yeah, if because you're on a Sony, you're on a PlayStation, because Crackle's owned by Sony.
I think you can play it on multiple devices, though.
Oh, can you? Oh, okay. Well, I watched Crackle back when I had my internet and everything. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld show. Oh.
I don't know what's on there, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah. No,
I don't really pay attention to it.
Oh, it's a great show. The only thing is that it's like, it's the length of what a TV show would be if you didn't watch the commercials. But they'll give you one commercial. So it's not a full 30 minutes, but it's not a full 20 minutes. It's like every episode is 23 minutes. Cause they'll go to commercial and have one commercial. Right. They'll have one commercial, they'll have a commercial for Sony or Crackle, and then they'll go back to the show. But Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld show, it's fucking hilarious. They're already on season 4 or whatever, or season 4 or 5. You can watch old episodes of The Tick, the live action Tick.
Apparently the Tick is trying to call you.
No, that's
or text you.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. So I think we're gonna take a podcast edit and we'll be back with more Dick and Fart Joke.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. Pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com.
And now for listeners of Two Strangers, One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back. Okay, so it's funny how we're talking about like services that are kind of making you verify things. Just announced about 2 hours ago before we started recording this episode, New York Comic Con has had a huge press release. And of course, you know, obviously anyone who listens to the show knows that I am super excited about going to Comic Con. You know, The first year, you know, helped get me on TV. The next year, you know, we did a whole bunch of interviews. They got tons of fucking views. You can look up was it Geeky Inc?
The one where you were so nervous with Steve Bloom. Oh, Steve, let me ask you a question.
Well, yeah.
Just sitting there going, Jesus Christ, why don't you piss your pants?
Well, it's because he's Steve fucking Bloom. But, I mean, New York Comic Con has always been you know, for the past 2 years, I mean, it keeps getting better and better. Now, one thing I do have to say is I do commend them on this new announcement. Even though it's going to be a pain in the ass, what they're doing this year is they're doing what they're calling fan verification. So basically, if you're going to buy a ticket for New York Comic Con this year, and that's for everybody that's buying a ticket has to do this verification where you kind of have to set up a profile on the page that sells the tickets, which I get. Is it an extra step? Yes. Is it a pain in the ass? Yes. But I get why they're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, because and let me tell you, I do admit in the past 2 years, and of course, you know, Jacob Javits Center is big. It's not the biggest venue, but Reed Pop, I mean, I think Reed Pop also handles San Diego Comic Con. You know, the Reed Pop, the people who organize the event, they got their shit down. You know, they got it down to a science. You know, everybody gets their IDs. The IDs all have like RFID chips on them. So when there's people standing at the door, you take your pass, you hold your pass up to their iPad or whatever tablet they're holding. You know, it buzzes you in. I'm assuming, you know, so it's not like you can hand the ID to somebody else so they can come in after you. You know, the organizing, I guess, you know, I guess it keeps a running count of how many people are there at any given moment. But this year, they are, like I said, you have to verify. Now, with that being said, like obviously, just buying the tickets, it puts you on a list. It puts you on a mailing list, and you know, I don't want to say daily emails, but damn near daily. Maybe not from Reed Pop directly, and that's my fault because they're like, would you like to hear from our associates and subsidiaries and all this other bullshit, which is, you know, and it goes to my bogus junk mail account anyway, my email address. So what they're doing is it smart? Yeah, because now you have to have this site for you to get your ticket, and you need to verify the day you get there.
Right.
So scalpers can't go and fucking jack up the prices, because, nowadays it's getting ridiculous. All these big name people, I know recently it happened like with Bruce Springsteen, and, not that I care about Bruce Springsteen, but I recognize his place as a musician. People were asking, they were taking $400 tickets and charging $4,000 and something like that, and not only charging, but people were paying $4,000 for,
Well, I don't think anybody's going to pay that much to get in.
Well, I mean, they're not, but
if they are, then they're idiots. I hate to say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, for someone, I've been to shows, and I've bought tickets on. Luckily, thank God, I haven't been burned. I haven't been. No one's ever sold me a ticket that belonged to somebody else, or or anything like that.
Well,
so
you don't really need that when you're press. So.
Well, no, I'm just saying. No, I'm just talking about scalpers in general because I've bought. And scalpers, it's not illegal. When you do stuff, you go on eBay. You go look up any fucking concert in the upcoming couple of months. You go on eBay, someone's selling tickets for it. And there's StubHub. That's all StubHub is basically eBay for just tickets. Right. And StubHub, I just learned this morning. StubHub is making so much fucking money that they're paying for product placement on the Philadelphia 76ers, if I understand. I could be wrong. They're paying for them to put a patch on the fucking jerseys. So, how NASCAR has, big giant Tide or Wonder Bread or whatever the case may be. And now that trend has infiltrated the NBA, where StubHub is paying for, and of course, you see these MMA wrestlers that have Golden Palace on their back or whatever. But a legitimate, not as legitimate as professional basketball can be, but, StubHub makes so much fucking money that they can afford to put this kind of product placement. There's a lot of money to be made in upselling fucking tickets. And I love the fact that these people, and is there a way around it? Yes, absolutely there's a way around it. I mean, of course you can say, the scalper can say, okay, here's your email and your profile address. You're selling someone an email address, so the scalpers can still go through the extra step. But it is better than having some sort of program, buying 50 fucking tickets and then selling them at 10 times the face value or whatever the case may be. Now, so I'm glad they're doing it. Is it an extra step? Yeah. Is it going to be a pain in the ass? Yeah. But once again, for all the extra effort they're putting into it, now you're marketing directly to the fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Like someone goes, you go, you like Game of Thrones and Spider-Man, and I like Batman and Doctor Who. Well, guess what? You put that in your profile, and all of a sudden, you're getting the Spider-Man advertisements, you're getting the Game of Thrones advertisements, I'm getting Batman and Doctor Who. It makes sense. Is it a marketing thing? Yes, of course it's also a marketing thing. But I'm also glad that they're kind of stomping out scalp tickets because when you go to Comic-Con, I mean, luckily I'll knock on wood. The past 2 years I went, I had a blast. Everyone who went there seemed to have a blast. Honestly, the only complaint is I'm fucking exhausted. 4 days of walking around and trying to take care of things and taking everything in. It is physically fucking draining. So, but what a way to go. I mean, if there's a heaven, I'm pretty sure it's like Comic-Con. Earlier we were talking about Marvel movies and TV shows like Daredevil and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, unfortunately, earlier this week they had announced Agent Carter has been canceled. Which is, it's weird because I didn't realize, I know they had season 1, I knew they had season 2. I always thought it was always sort of going to be, in my mind, I always thought it was going to be like a mini series. I never thought of it as, I didn't think it was going to have legs to become a show. Right. It was always like a mid-season filler. While Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes in hiatus, they would have Agent Carter, and I didn't hate it. I think it's better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's surprisingly that, Agent Carter gets canceled and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. somehow is still on. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is fucking horrible. It's funny, as we're recording this, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like on playing on TV right now. Which, spoiler alert, Agent Carter dies in Civil War. You know, the old lady, the 100-year-old lady dies. And so, like, people were putting, Agent Carter died twice this week. Right. So, and in the movie they had her niece, who Captain America starts fooling around with. So I had made a joke. I said, maybe we should have a show starring her younger, hotter niece. That's creepy. What if, let's say you were, you were frozen or whatever, and then Kelsia's niece, 100 years from now, her sister's kid or whatever. You hook up with.
What if my DNA's in there?
That's fucking creepy, man. So that's, unfortunately Agent Carter was canceled. I mean, there was a couple other shows, and I think like they were gonna have like a couple other Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spin-offs or other shows that one was called like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Most Wanted or something like that.
Right.
That wasn't gonna that's not being picked up. And as of tonight, they were talking about. I saw a fucking trailer for a Lethal Weapon TV show.
Yes, I saw it
with Damon Wayans and some other guy. And like, I thought the whole gist of the Lethal Weapon series was that, like, I always forget Riggs. I forget which one's the black one, which one's the white one. Riggs, the black guy is supposed to be like, oh, this is supposed to be his last day on the job. I'm getting too old for this shit. Right. And then he gets caught up in, with the other one, with the Mel Gibson character. So,
but I do think that it's I do think it's a little weird that because if I remember correctly, I don't think he what's his name's character? I can't think of his name off. It gets confusing, like you said.
You say the black guy and the white guy.
Well, the white guy,
the
one that played Mel Gibson's character, I guess. I thought his wife was still alive because in this one, in the trailer, she Briggs, I think is the black guy. His wife asks him to see if she invites him in for dinner to find out who the hell this guy is. And her husband was saying, "Oh, he's crazy," blah 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 blah. And then they have like this moment where she's like, "Oh, are you married?" And he's like, "I was." And then he's like, "She died," and blah blah blah. And she gives her husband a look like, "You asshole." So I mean,
well, no, I think that was. It's been so long since I've seen a Lethal Weapon movie, but I think that's part of why he's crazy. Like, right, I think when his wife was alive, she had kept him normal, or for the lack of a better term, is normal. And now that she's gone, he became like an alcoholic guy that doesn't give a shit, And so, I don't know. And Kevin Smith has not announced, but he admitted that he's working on a show based on the movie Buckaroo Banzai. There was a couple other. There's like, and the reason they wanted to do Buckaroo Banzai is because Fargo, the TV series, is doing so well. Like, there seems to be a trend of nowadays. There's shows being based on movies. I think. Well, they've announced like I saw the commercial for like a Rush Hour, TV show.
Yeah, I don't remember if that's.
I saw the commercial, and the guy doesn't look vaguely Asian. That's the funny thing. It's just a black guy and a white guy who looks vaguely Asian.
I love that, vaguely Asian.
Vaguely Asian.
By the way, you're vaguely Asian.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Oh no, I did not know that. All right.
Okay, so as the Agent Carter movie gets canceled, they have announced. They basically just said they
got rid of Muppets too. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, the Muppets. That was another show.
Like, and I feel bad for that series because I'm pretty sure the only reason it got canceled was because the director fucked up how he did the show. So,
Well, I think people wanted it to be like the old show, and it was something different. And a couple episodes that I watched, I enjoyed very much. But I just, you know, people were too fucking stupid to enjoy that show. Now, I believe they said the Wonder Woman movie has just finished filming.
Right.
And once again, this is news. Like as of right now, we're recording this. Without Suicide Squad even coming out, they've already announced the Harley Quinn movie, a Harley Quinn spin-off movie,
which I think is good.
Which I think we all knew was going to happen because when you watch the trailer.
Well, everybody's looking at her.
Yeah, I mean, look, okay, yes. Am I excited that Will Smith is in it? Yes. Am I excited that we'll see Killer Croc? Yes. You know, Captain Boomerang? Yes. And that's about it. I don't know, like the other guys, and I'm the quote unquote comics book guy. You know, I don't care about Slipknot or Rick Flag or whatever the hell his name is, or Diablo or Sorceress. So I don't care about all those characters. I care about Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and maybe Captain Boomerang. Yeah, that's about it. You know, but obviously Harley Quinn. You know, and the fact that, you know, Margot Robbie is a piece of ass. You know, she's playing a character that we've all wanted to see. And I think they kind of had. I think they had Harley Quinn on the Arrow show, but they didn't give her. You know, the idiots. You know, they didn't put her up front as much as they should have. So you know, I think a Harley Quinn movie. You know, and especially with you have Batman, you have the Joker. Right. You know, it's very easy. You know, make it a Harley Quinn movie, but you have characters that you can bring into it easily. You know, or any of the characters from the Suicide Squad movie. So they've announced that, and then once again, in other lady news, Marvel has announced, or Kevin Feige has announced that they are now looking into making a Black Widow movie. And it's like about fucking time, you know, like, you know, she's been in all these movies. She was in, you know, Iron Man 2, Avengers, both the Avengers movies, you know. Once again, you know, yes, of course, we're all excited to see Spider-Man. We're all excited to see Black Panther. But, you know, the fucking New Jacks are getting movies. Here's someone who's been paying her fucking dues. Can we finally get a Black Widow movie? So, they announced that this week, which, was it this week? Or, yeah, I think like right after, Captain America. So I think, you know, they're finally waking up and saying, okay, look, you know, let's give the ladies, let's give them the character, you know, and especially after Age of Ultron, there was a big controversy that there was no Black Widow toys.
Yeah, and then they said that's a good point. They were saying that they've committed to doing a Black Widow movie. Mm-hmm. So that should be interesting.
Well, yeah, well, that's the whole reason. Like, I mean, you know, the Marvel, which is owned by Disney, they go, oh, well, you know, we have all the girls with the Disney princesses. You know, the Marvel movies are for the boys. Like you know, we need to sell toys to the boys. You know, but why would you not give her character? And I guess, you know, and you know what is, and what's awesome is that you can just jump right into this movie. You know, she's established, her character has been established enough where. You know, we could jump right into her movie. You know, the kind of, you know, it's kind of like what they did with Black Panther, kind of like what they did with Spider-Man, except that she's had 5 movies to fucking get herself established. You know, so you could jump right into her story because she was in both Avengers movies. She was in the other Captain America movies. So that's 4 right there. She was in Iron Man 2 when she first, you know, the first time we saw her was in Iron Man 2. So. You know, she's had plenty of time to have her characters established. We could jump right into this. It could be a totally fucking, you know, espionage.
Okay, I honestly...
How you throw Hawkeye in there or something like that?
No. I would rather this be kind of a prequel, honestly. Because here's the thing.
Enough with the fucking prequels going on.
Yeah, no, hear me out about this. Because, okay, fine. Yes. Black Widow has always been there. She started in Iron Man 2, and we've seen her pretty much in every single movie.
We don't have her backstory. Okay.
We don't have no backstory. We don't know how this woman fucking came to be. So, for me, Yeah, and we've kind of gotten some story here and there and that, but I really want to see how this woman became who she was and how she learned to be who she was. You know what I mean? Was this... I kind of feel like she was one of those women that was kind of like... if anybody's seen Batman Bad Blood, you haven't really seen it, but...
we started watching.
Kind of the backstory of...
it's a heretic?
Batwoman.
I
can't think of her real name. I can't think of
something Kane.
Oh God, I can't think of it. Well, anyways, so I think that I think it would be like something like that, except she doesn't turn into Batwoman.
Well, okay, look. As much as they've done de-aging in these movies, where they made Michael Douglas younger, they made Robert Downey Jr. look younger. I mean, I don't think you can't have. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's a good-looking woman, but you can't go back and show her in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? I think what you can do is make a Black Widow movie with a lot of her past coming back. You know what I'm saying? Where this is a whole new adventure. You know, whole new, skewing off from the Avengers universe, but it's the shit from the past that has come back. You know, you can have tons of flashbacks, you can have tons of fucking... when she was in the Red Room or whatever the fuck it was called, when they were like, I think wasn't it called the Red Room? Like when she was like part of like that they were training these girls since fucking since they were kids to be assassins.
I kind of just want to get an idea of who she is, how she came to be, because that's the thing. Like, okay, we have Black Widow, and we know how Iron Man came to be. We know how. The Vision came to be. We know how. We kind of know how not Black Scarlet.
You mean Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I don't know why I said, but I was watching this.
Of which I did not know, and Paul just taught me this before the episode. I didn't realize that the Scarlet Witch was one of the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's sisters.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Did not know that. So.
And it's funny. I looked it up, and when you see the older pictures, you're like, oh, okay.
Here's the biggest problem, and it's actually kind of funny because this week X-Men hasn't even come out yet. It doesn't come out for another week or two, and the woman that plays Storm now said I guess they did an interview or something, and she's like, "Yeah, I would love to see Black Panther and." Storm come together because they get married eventually. So she wants to see a movie with that. Problem is Fox owns it. I kind of was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I feel like, and maybe you'll agree with me on this. I kind of feel like they're going to end up having a. Like, Fox is going to do the same thing that Sony's doing, basically.
Yeah.
They're going to end up having some of these characters show up in other movies. One thing, and I know Deadpool. I know that Hugh Jackman's like, oh, well, this is my last movie. Look, you need to do the next Deadpool. At least come in there once before you go.
Yeah.
Okay. You need.
Well, the next X-Men, the next Wolverine movie takes place in the future, allegedly. I mean, there haven't been. There's tons of rumors, giant rumors pointing that it's Old Man Logan. But I mean, once again, we're talking about something in the future. You can get your happy ass for a nice fucking payday. Bring your happy ass as a fucking Deadpool movie. Stop fucking around. The movie. He was in Deadpool without being in Deadpool.
There's not even that. Like, the director had said, it was a couple of weeks ago, he had said something about he wanted to see Spider-Man at least make a cameo in the Deadpool movie. Now, obviously, Deadpool's going to be rated R.
Yeah.
So, you kind of got to play this the right way.
Yeah.
And, you don't know if, like, Deadpool comes into a Spider-Man or Spider-Man comes into Deadpool. But see, the thing is the reason they want to do this is because Deadpool is such a huge fan of Spider-Man. And they want to connect the universes. And I think it's a great idea. But the problem is if you try to bring Deadpool into this whole Avengers universe now, in this rated R form, you have to kind of bring him down to where he's not swearing.
Yeah.
And it might be a little jarring to people. And I think that's part of the problem, the reason why a lot of people were like, well, he should be PG-13. Because, and there is a degree to where that makes sense, because you can't really put this guy into a PG-13 movie after you make him in a rated R film. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, we could still do this though. So, I mean, I honestly, I just want to see. I want to see Spider-Man show up.
Well, I mean, I'll put it like this: Disney has a fucking death grip on the Avengers. Disney is not gonna fucking let the Avengers. No, excuse me. Disney's not gonna let Deadpool come into an Avengers movie, and I say that because then they'll see hypothetically, a 9-year-old sees Deadpool in the Avengers, and then he wants to go see the next Deadpool movie. Some dumb fucking parent who doesn't look at that fucking poster takes the 9-year-old to go see Deadpool, and all of a sudden, watching some guy getting fucked in the ass by his girlfriend. There's going to be a problem with that.
Actually, if I can, I was going to say that Ghost Rider, Blade, and Space Knight, was it?
Rom the Space Knight?
Yeah, Space Knight or something is going to get their own Netflix series. Apparently.
Oh,
I saw that on the internet. I don't know if that's true, but it looks like it could be true that was announced or something.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, it's more fucking money into our masters' accounts.
I honestly think that it would be a good idea.
It was done right, and so far, it would be a great idea.
But I honestly think, I never, for example, with Ghost Rider, I don't think Nicolas Cage was a bad Ghost Rider, to be honest with you. I think the problem was the director. The first one I thought was great. The first Ghost Rider I thought was great. Some people like it, some people don't. But there's kind of a middle ground where even the uncut version, people still, it did well.
Uh-huh.
The second one, I never saw the second one because I heard it was just complete and utter trash.
Well, the second one was directed by the brothers that did Crank.
So it's shit.
Well, yeah. Well, it depends on, some people like that, some people don't.
I mean, I guess, Blade, I would rather see, what's his name, come back and do Blade.
Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes.
Look, as much as look, all these movies now, we need young people. We need young people because these are supposed to be franchises. Wesley Snipes, I love Wesley Snipes. I would have loved to see Wesley Snipes play the father of the Black Panther and Captain America. Spoiler alerts, because he was only going to be in the movie for 20 minutes anyway.
We may see him again in another movie. I mean, I honestly think we will see him in some kind of Marvel or DC movie.
He was Blade, but I just saying, you could have put him as the father of the Black Panther. He could have been T'Chaka, and because once again, he was only in the movie.
Might still do that.
He was only in the movie for 10 minutes.
I showed you a picture, by the way, before we did the podcast too.
Where someone took Eddie Murphy from his character from Coming to America. but he's wearing the Black Panther, from the neck down. It's the Black Panther.
Great movie, by the way. I love Coming to America. It's hilarious. That should be in your collection if you're a fucking...
because it's fucking hilarious.
Coming to America and...
Harlem Nights. I like Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights always cracks me up.
The one with him and...
Arsenio? No.
No. The one where they switch places when it wasn't...
Trading Places?
Trading Places.
Yeah. Him and
that's a great movie, too.
Wow, why am I drawing a blank?
People listen to this podcast going, what the fuck are these movies?
Yeah. Trading Places in the 80s was the fucking bomb.
I love in Coming to America where he's like, "Oh, here's some money," and they're like, "Oh, we're rich again." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus."
Well, and I had seen where in Coming to America, there's a scene where the father, the McDowell's father, he gets some money from the country that Eddie Murphy's character's from, and he's like, I say he got money. He goes, no, he got his own money. Where he's like, and he looks and he holds the bill, and it's like Eddie Murphy's face. Well, someone did that, where it's like he's got his own money, and it's the character that plays Black Panther in the movie with his face on a bill or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, them if they did, it would make sense for them to do a Ghost Rider movie, a Ghost Rider series, a Blade series. Because these, I trust Netflix.
Is it Space Knight? I can't.
Well, there's Rom the Space Knight, but I think that's being held. I think that's being, or Moon Knight. No, Moon Knight is. I think that's. Or is Moon Knight DC?
Let me look it up real quick while we're doing this.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, Moon Knight is Marvel because Moon Knight is basically Batman in the Marvel universe, for the lack of a better term. Except he's gay. If Bruce Wayne was gay and in the Marvel universe, he'd be the Moon Knight. So, and I'm not saying gay like, oh, that's gay. I mean, gay is homosexual. In the movies, we've had Idris Elba, a British black man, play a Norse god. He plays, in the Thor movies, he plays, not Heimdall, whatever.
Yeah, it's Moon Knight. That's
Moon Knight, okay. Yeah. Well, Idris Elba, they just released set pictures. Once again, this is news coming out today. Idris Elba is doing The Gunslinger. Stephen King's The Gunslinger, The Dark Tower. Right. Now, I don't know how the fuck they're going to do this, because The Gunslinger spans 7 books. It is the most outrageous,
I think he could play a good part, though.
Oh, no. I like him. And the funny thing is that if you've ever read the books, obviously the first choice in anyone who's ever read the books, the first choice in anyone's head would be Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, and not even in his prime Clint Eastwood, not in A Fistful of Dollars, like a later Clint Eastwood, like an Unforgiven, when he was older, not Gran Torino Clint Eastwood. So there was if you had asked anybody, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who would play the Gunslinger in the Dark Tower movies, you would say Clint Eastwood. Well, and of course, when you buy because I've had a couple of these books, when you buy like the deluxe version that has like artwork, the Gunslinger was never depicted as a black. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but now they have Idris Elba. Now, Idris Elba is an older gentleman. I mean, he looks good for his age and everything like that. So they're bringing in Idris Elba as the Gunslinger. And if I'm not mistaken, the Man in Black, the bad guy, the Randall Flagg, the ultimate evil in the series, I believe is going to be played by Matthew McConaughey, which is going to be odd, him playing like evil dude, Right. So, these books, like in the Dark Tower series, because they go back in time. They use like these sort of like weird doors that open back in time, where they visit 1940s. They visit like New York in the 80s. They bring in this kid. They bring in this woman a black woman that's in a wheelchair. Right. And I think she's like from the South, and her personality splits. And at one point she has legs, then she doesn't have legs. She's back in the wheelchair. The very first thing that happens in this book is that he's a gunslinger, but he fights these giant lobsters that cut off his fucking trigger finger. The fuck? That's the whole thing. These movies are weird. These books are so weird. There's a talking train that's like depressed. They visit.
Thomas the Train. What is
it? It's basically Thomas the Train, but it's if Thomas the Train was like a bullet train. There's a part where they're fighting a bunch of robots that look like Dr. Doom. They go to the fucking the Emerald Palace in the Wizard of Oz. The Dark Tower series. It's a very, very surreal book. It's about this world that's sort of like, it's not post-apocalyptic, because that's not the right word. It's sort of like a land outside of time, but it's almost as if it was post-apocalyptic. So like, like the Beatles song Hey Jude, people still know, and they go, oh, remember that a long time, that was written a long time ago. But, and they come across like old car cars abandoned in the street that, but it's not the future though. It's sort of like its own world, and there's giant turtles with there's giant bears with satellites sticking out of their heads. It's, positronics. It's the Dark Tower series is such a great, and mind you, Stephen King started writing this like in 1975. And he finished it a couple years ago. I think he did the last one like in 2012. But then he did this other one. It was sort of like he took the characters and kind of wrote this whole like middle story called Through the Keyhole, Went Through the Keyhole, which I read recently, and man, that was a great fucking book. So if this is going to follow the series, it's funny because it reminds me of of Harry Potter. Harry Potter took the place over 7 books. If this goes the full length it's supposed to go, Idris Elba is going to be fucking like, he's going to be like in his 70s by the time this fucking this series is over with. So I think he's like in his 50s now.
Won't get that far,
but I'm just saying is, they're going to have to crank out these movies, but these movies are all going to be weird. Each movie is its like the Harry Potter series is about as close as I could account it to. And even the Harry Potter series, at least they'll kind of took place in Hogwarts. These gunslinger movies are going to be all over the place. There's, they're running through junkyards, they're running through fucking deserts, they're running through, like I said, the Wizard of Oz. There's a part where they're fighting, they're literally fighting with Quidditch balls, like from Harry Potter and Doctor Doom robots. It's the weirdest fucking, it's a Stephen King, and then there's a part where they meet Stephen King in the fucking series. Where you guys, like when he gets hit by the car and shit. So I'm excited. It's a huge fucking undertaking. I wouldn't have thought Idris Elba as the gunslinger, but now that it's done and they actually have, and I also, in my mind, I always pictured the gun that he carried, because if you look at the pictures, he has this very long gun in a holster. I had always pictured the gun being more like a big barrel.
Right.
Like it would it would shoot fucking balls. Like, remember like the big marbles? Like when you had the regular size marbles and you had the big masher one. I thought it shot bullets that came out like that fucking size, or at least that in diameter. So, they are filming, the Gunslinger series.
And
now.
I just looked it up. I guess there's rumors that those three are going to go there. That it's kind of like one of those things that we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And you can, especially with Ghost. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My Moon Knight knowledge isn't that great. But the fact that Blade and Ghost Rider are both magical characters, for lack of a better term, they could even cross over into each other's episodes.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're trying to do. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. And the Moon Knight,
apparently, I don't know this for sure, but apparently they're going to use some of the characters from TV series in the actual movie. So, I mean, if that in the Avengers Infinity War, so hopefully we'll get to see Daredevil and everything else show up there. But we'll see. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think we are going to see like a Jessica Jones even if she's in the movie for 5 minutes or whatever. Right. She's like, she's looking up in the sky as all this crazy shit's happening. I don't know. So, are you ready to wrap this up?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net. We can find all things show related. You can find the links to our iTunes page. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod. Does anybody have an iPod anymore? But if you do, you can download our episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, go back and listen to older episodes. Not every single one, because they're not all available on iTunes, but I'll show you how to get the old ones in just a moment. If you don't have an iPhone, an iPad...
You're going to tell them how to do that?
I'm going to tell them, because I'm going to tell them that they can... They can go.
Say, like, you can't really show them this.
Well, I'll tell them how to find the episodes on YouTube, because you can't find all episodes you cannot find on iTunes. You can find on YouTube, but we'll get to that in a second. If you don't have an iPhone, an iPad, or an iPod, you can find us on the Stitcher app. That's STITCHER, the Stitcher app. It's what I use to listen to podcasts. I put it on the listen later option and the listen offline option. So it downloads the episodes to your phone while you're in a Wi-Fi spot. And the cool thing is that it doesn't kill your data. It doesn't kill your battery. Or you're out and about, you're running errands, you're driving, you're fapping, whatever the hell you're doing. You can listen to podcasts. While you're listening, you can listen to podcasts while you're doing whatever you need. No,
seriously, nobody needs to know about the fat.
And I love how like the Addicted to Porn episode had like 800 downloads.
Addicted to porn.
So like I said, listen later option on the Stitcher app. Of course, we want your money. We need your money. But if you can't give us any money, you can like us on Facebook. It takes 2 seconds to like. I mean, with all these new likes and stuff, I mean, we have been getting likes and views on Facebook. Facebook.com/2strangers1podcast, all spelled out. Like the page, like this particular episode, like them, share it on your page. That's the best. Spreading the word would definitely help.
Not spreading the sketch.
Yeah, don't spread the sketch. But if you can, if any help would be greatly appreciated. And thank you to the people. There actually have been people who've been liking the page and sharing the page, and thank you all for doing so. And now, like I said, the older episodes that you cannot find on iTunes or Stitcher, you can find on YouTube. I've taken all the old episodes that we've run out of space on the server, and I've put them up on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, search for Two Strangers One Podcast. I put out as many as I can. You know, I'm not in a Wi-Fi spot all the time, but I've been putting them out as video format, so you can play the videos, play them in the background while you go back.
Little bastard.
And and I've been doing my own little stranger vlogs. Where I kind of just sit there and I'll rant about something, a topic for like 8 minutes in front of my phone. So now when you watch the videos, I cannot tell you to click on the ads, or I can't tell you to subscribe. I mean, I can ask you to subscribe, but
goddamn ads.
I can't tell you to click on the ads. But if you did, it would be greatly appreciated, because that's another way for the show to make money. And once again, share the videos. Just put it up on your timeline. That'd be fucking awesome. So if you want to if you want to reach out to us, which I'm surprised with all the downloads, I'm surprised, we haven't heard from Oscar. Oscar kind of fell off the face of the earth again.
And you've been having one almost every week, so there's no reason.
Yeah, so just write to us, even if it's hate. Like I said, Oscar started out with hate mail, and and he kept coming back and listening. So if you fucking hate our guts, I mean, still write to us. We hate each other, so so feel free to write. And even if it's not hate, if you have something you want to talk about, hey guys, how do you feel about how do you feel about?
How do you feel about my penis?
How do you feel about the DC animated movies versus the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or something to that effect? Right. Trust me. Well, I'll do my homework. We'll talk about it. So you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, all spelled out, twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to tweet at us, you can tweet at us at Stranger Podcast. Unfortunately, I'm not as active on Twitter on the Stranger Podcast as I should be, or as I want to be. But maybe if you guys started engaging a little bit, maybe I'd be a little more into it. I don't know. So that's all I can think of. I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Paul Pascrillo. You can find me on Instagram, instagram.com/Paul Pascrillo. And you can also ask me questions, ask.fm/Paul Pascrillo. What I would suggest that you guys do is you should go to soundcloud.com/Geeky Inc. Productions. It's GeekeInc and then Productions. There we have the first track up for Nerdcore Absolution Volume 3, which is called Spirit Bomb, an artist called Tech Force. You guys should definitely listen to that. There's going to be another single probably within the next week or so. Pay attention out there on your feed for that. And make sure you follow that page too, because we have more music on. So those of you that like nerdy music, you like stuff. Yeah, that's
I should have mentioned about Stitcher. Stitcher, I listen to Kevin Smith's Smodcast, Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist, and of course Paul's other baby, the Toonami Faithful Podcast.
Oh, of course.
Check out Toonami Faithful Podcast. And also a shout out, I should have mentioned this earlier, shout out to Derek Sickink. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Derek Sickink from Twitter. I guess he had seen a sketch had tweeted out from the last episode, and he was commenting about the first part of the episode where it says due to the graphic nature of the program, listener discretion is advised. So shout out to Derek. And once again, guys, just engage us and we'll shout you out on the show. Even if you're asking for a shout out, that's all. We could do that. We certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris. Don't be a stranger.
Peace.
Bye. Yo, shut it, faggot. And I love you.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Fucking, are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Oh, I got to meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia's spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea, man.
Is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it, that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could show them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne right now.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.